So like something like a French drain, would that, given that the water table is so high, would a French drain help? Like if the French drain went, say from here and maybe it directed the water, I don't know, down around the house that way and out to like
Yeah, like an
like
apron
a
is
pool or
usually what
something.
they do. They usually go around a house, dig a ditch, set the pipe to grade.
Right.
It's perforated, so it's collecting water. You put drain rock over it, you put
Right.
soil over it, and it's basically like it's a French drain.
It's a drain. Right.
That was a good description of a French drain.
And so it would just
But you
go,
put it someplace, sometimes you just run it. I mean, there's different ways to go. You can just get it further from the house. You can dig a dry well. You can run it to a sump pump. You've got it wouldn't be wrong to have a drainage specialist come do an evaluation, especially because you have a finished basement.
Yeah.
So, and I can see that the baseboard has swollen in areas, and
Gotcha.
and it happens to just be right along this wall here where this roof is failing and everything slopes towards the basement. So,
Right.
Yeah, and then the sump pump is just emptying out onto the ground, and I would move it further from the house.
Oh.
I lived in a house where there was a sump pump in this little basement area under my bedroom. And in Indiana, we get like tremendous Midwest storms,
That's where I'm from.
and
That's where I'm from.
oh yeah, really? From Indiana? Oh, cool. I lived in Bloomington for
Fort Wayne.
uh-huh.
I'm from Louisville.
Yeah.
I'm glad we all escaped.
Yep,
Yes,
we got out.
escaped.
We
got
sure
to
did.
PNW. Yes.
Yes.
Anyway, I was renting the house, and the owner had somebody come install a sump pump, and they just ran the outlet like this far from the house. So it was
So
like
just
the water would just go back down
back
in, get pumped out, go back
And
down in.
how close
Are we really not
Really
thinking
yeah,
this through?
I've done this.
How close is the outlet here to the house?
It's fairly close to the house, and there's grade back towards the house, so
Okay, so it's in the wrong spot.
just get it further from the house.
Yeah.
Well away from the house.
Mhm.
Can you tell the age on all that plumbing? That's like the sump pump plumbing and like the sewage pump plumbing.
No. And because it's a finished basement, there's a lot of plumbing that I can't see. I do see some flexible tubing, and I saw some galvanized plumbing, which is what the house was built with.
Mm-hmm.
So that doesn't surprise me.
And then as far as like the existing escape or like effluent or I don't know what's the word.
The grade, like
No,
the
no,
flow.
no. The piping that's used to remove the water and the
Oh, like
stuff.
just drain pipe?
discharge piping.
Okay.
That is probably galvanized, do you think, or is that something else? Like the stuff that's subterranean.
Oh, that I couldn't tell you.
Is that something that would be revealed in the inspection, like the sewer
The
inspection?
sewer,
or whatever?
no, he just did the sewer line.
Just to
So
see
he
if it's
doesn't do
clear?
like drainage, like storm drains.
Gotcha.
Yeah.
Okay.
And really, these are just going into sleeves. Like these two are just emptying onto the ground. That water should be taken well away from the house. And then out in the back, they've got just 4-inch corrugated sleeves on the downspouts, which is good. That does move it further, but I'd
Better
like
than
to see it.
nothing, yeah.
I'd do it even
Yeah.
further, just because you've got all this grade going towards the house. So
Yeah.
yeah, you want to keep. I mean, the amount of water that comes off of a roof is more than you think.
Oh, sure.
It's like 600 gallons on an average house in a half or an inch of rainfall. That's a lot of water.
Mm-hmm.
It has to go someplace, and you're already on a high water table, so you've already got water under the ground
Right.
more than probably other areas because you're in a flood zone.
Mm-hmm.
You're right by the creek.
Yeah.
So, and I'm sure you've probably looked at flood maps and flood insurance, like all those
I
kinds
don't
of
know.
things.
So I talked to. We can look into it more, but because it's elevated high enough above the creek,
Yeah.
they actually don't. I don't think they didn't have to have flood insurance.
Really?
Yeah.
Wow.
Surprisingly.
I thought they were
Yeah.
kind of brutal about like but I don't know.
Yeah,
That's not my area of expertise.
That's my understanding. We'll look into it a little bit more.
And the other thing, so Johnson Creek, they've done a lot to manage. They have engineered huge areas of wetlands. That's on Foster.
Mm-hmm.
You know what I'm talking about?
Yeah.
Yeah, there's that area on, I don't know the name of that park, but it's a huge wetlands if you look at it on a map. And they built those wetlands to take up all the floodwater when we have a lot of rain, so that all these houses downstream of it don't flood.
Okay.
It
Yeah,
was
they've done a
it's
lot,
pretty
yeah.
pretty well engineered, is my understanding.
That's
Yeah.
great.
But you might look into the history of that and poke around, because you're on the creek. So
Yeah.
creek's in your backyard.
Sure.
It'd be great on a hot day to go, oh, I see your shirt says Indiana, and I just missed that.
I was thinking about that. I was like, I wonder if they're from my part of Indiana.